Joshy.
Hello and welcome to AFL for Dummies. Footy season for the 2024 is back with a different flavour. The bump is already back with a 7-game suspension leading up to the opening round. And Clarko once again back in the media. Today we are previewing Sydney Swans take on the Melbourne Demons. Gawn versus Grundy. What a year to come, Johnny. How you feeling? How you been?
Oh, I am very excited. You've been more excited than me the last week. You're like, footy's back, just for the pure, like the purest, like you're just happy for it. Well, I've sort of been like, we've been focusing on our show, which is good. We've got work, and it didn't hit me until I was driving back from an appointment today to come film this, and got a little bit excited, a little bit sweaty. I was just like, footy's back, baby. This is awesome. One on the eve. Different flavour, though.
Very different flavour.
The
The opening round. It's New South Wales and Queensland.
So I was reading when they first announced this that they are, because they're obviously trying to tap into that New South Wales, Queensland crowd that aren't, I guess you wouldn't call them footy states.
Yeah,
Victoria. When I say that, Victoria, WA, South Australia, Tasmania, obviously little. I guess they're trying to start the new year, the first round, so everyone in the country is watching.
Yeah, it makes sense that they did it with Gather Round last year. They brought everyone over to Adelaide. I think that was a very good advantage for the Adelaide teams,
and they get that again. But yes,
they get that again. But It's weird. It's out of Melbourne. It doesn't feel the same, does it? Like, I know I'm pumped to watch it. It does not feel the same.
Sydney vs Melbourne does not feel like. I mean, don't get me wrong. Hopefully, it's going to be a great game. But it's like I want a Richmond Carlton game. Maybe do Brisbane versus Collingwood. The grand finalists. Just a game at the MCG, guys.
Yeah, they just wanted one.
And one more thing. We've been waiting for so long for a game of footy. 4 games for the week. I want these 9 games. I want football coming at me from all directions. And we're only watching 4 games, not in Victoria. AFL, I'm not sure. I'm glad footy's back, but I'm not sure you made the right call.
No, I don't think they did. Now the bump, leading and talking in the media. What's been happening with Jimmy Webster? Jai Simpkin got absolutely knocked out. The bump is, it's back, but was not good to see.
It was very lazy by Webster. Like, it's a preseason game. He got off the ground, very careless.
Yeah.
7 weeks is a very harsh penalty, but Simpkin he was out for the count. His eyes were back of the head. He didn't know where he was.
It was actually a brutal thing to see, and it was. Obviously, the team stuck straight up for him, and it wasn't good. Webster leaving the ground to make the bump.
There's the fine line with when they brought in the sling tackle, where it wasn't really intent to hurt the player. It was just more of a technique thing. And 2 players going hard at the balls, there's going to be head-high contact. Yeah. The problem with Webster was that was just late. That was just lazy, and he clearly went to hit him.
Well, Simpkin was just going to kick the ball.
Yeah,
that was it.
The ball was gone. He didn't
complete cleanup.
He didn't need to do that. Now 7 weeks. Now all the players know that there's head-high protection from the umpires.
Yeah.
Why did you have to do it? There was no reason to do it. Now. It's what's interesting about, and they know about all the sports scientists with concussions and whatnot. It does. I wanted you to show some footage though. So that got 7 weeks.
So he got 7 weeks. Simpkin won't be. They reckon he's going to be out for round 1.
He was definitely going to be out for. Well, they're not playing round 1.
They're not playing opening round, but they're playing round 1 next week.
So do you reckon? They said you reckon they'll miss the first game.
Miss the first game, which is hard for them. He's one of their pivotal players, experienced players, so it's hard, 25, 26 years old, he's in his prime, and, copping a head hit like that. Webster, though, very, very lazy. Let's go into...
So this is what I was saying. So this cops 7 weeks.
Yeah.
I want everyone to look at this bump from Mark Rasciuto. This looks like it was early 2000s, late 90s.
Oh my God.
He was almost out as soon as you hit him, and he landed like a log. And we know post his football career, he's had problems with concussion.
Oh my God, that was brutal.
That one didn't even get paid a free kick. Play on.
How long ago was that?
That was, so by looking at that, I think that was late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay.
Now, Dean Kemp has come out that had, massive, concussion issues later in life.
Yeah.
So we understand why the AFL is outlawing this and the uproar of it.
Well,
I understand. Webster, there was no reason to do what he did.
Well, let's be honest, all right? Angus Brayshaw was just retired, too many concussions.
Yeah.
Who was the other Sydney guy?
Paddy McCartan.
Paddy McCartan.
Paddy McCartan.
So you got to look at, and I mean, the AFL, there's no doubt players would come after them for their payouts with concussion issues long term.
Well, they are.
Yeah.
They are. And it's happening in all sports across the globe. Now, there's a difference when two players are going for the ball, there's going to be issues there. And that's part of the game. You're doing it. You're playing a sport. You're getting paid well for it. Yeah. It's like when you're doing a dangerous job. Like you know what you're in for.
And they're paid pretty exceptionally.
But Webster, that was just lazy. I was just lazy. Like I don't know. I think North were giving it up to St Kilda, and he was just like, "Geez, this is going to be a hard slog. I feel like a couple of months off."
He was like, I wouldn't mind some time in Bali.
Let's just opt out. Let's just opt out of this.
And Clarko made him very, very well aware. Anyway, just give it a Google what he exactly said. He made it very clear at quarter time. I would use the censor, but I don't trust my ability to not say it and hold the censor at the right time. But it was something sucker, and I think it was worthy, And there is a posing question though. Clarko going up to a player, he's the head honcho of the North Melbourne Football Club. Is that okay? Is that all right to do?
I don't see the problem with this. So he's copped a $10,000 fine.
Yep.
It's not the first time Clarko's been in trouble for mouthing off at a player or somebody else. He's just seeing the captain of his football club get absolutely steamrolled.
In a pre-season game.
Whether it's a pre-season game or not, he's standing up for his captain. He's obviously told Webster what he thinks of him. I don't see a problem with that.
I think
it would be great. If it was in the real world and you saw a mate get taken out like that,
you'd take them out.
You'd take them out. So a coach standing up for his captain or one of his players, come off at AF. The fact that he got a $10,000 fine is a joke.
And there was a lot of media personnel standing up saying, "Oh, he shouldn't be doing that." You know what? It's come from the top down. The team is only as good as the leader who's walking them through it. And at the end of the day, what he's done is he's just showed his whole entire team that he's going to stand up and have their back regardless of the situation. And he's happy to cop fines. And that says a lot about a coach. And I think that's a very noble and respectful sort of person to look up towards and go, I want to play for this guy.
And that could bring North Melbourne together. This is a very young group.
Yep.
I want to play for this guy. He's going to have my back.
100%.
The fact that he has copped a $10,000 fine just is...
From the AFL. Bullshit.
And I've seen on socials, everyone agrees with Clarko.
100%.
I think everyone knows he's just seen someone get taken out. Come on, AFL, that's rubbish.
Do you reckon it was just because of the derogative term that he used? Regardless,
the AFL is that wouldn't have helped, but the AFL has always, find, if a coach has had a go at players before and whatnot. I remember
bring back technicals for the coaches.
I remember when Kevin Sheedy, I think it was to Stephen Milne. I'm not sure if it was. It was to someone, and he threatened him like that.
That's so good. But that's what. Where's that? So in the
it's a bit of passion. He's standing up for his friends. Clarko didn't hurt anyone.
No, but what I'm saying is, why is there no ability for the coach to stand up, get a bit heated, crack it at the umpies, crack it at the players, and give a bit of passion and say, hey, well, I know I'm on the sidelines here, but at the end of the day, I'm here to protect my players.
Yeah,
I'm not just going to let them go in there and get absolutely taken down like that, especially with a lazy bullshit. It wasn't like it was an accident, two players going head on. It was just a complete...
He took him out, he got rid of the
momentum,
ball,
left the ground, bang,
yep.
Smack. And yeah, I just...
Very careless.
Very, very careless. I mean, you look at that and you compare it with Barry Hall knocking out old mate and he got 6 weeks.
Yeah,
and that was horrible.
But no, I think Adam Hunter ran in to try and help stake her out, and he just dropped to the
He
ground.
dropped it, boom, boom, down. But no,
No one was yelling at Barry Hall.
no, because Barry Hall was scary.
Yeah.
He was like the bouncer you did not want to see come out and throw hands.
What this has done though, because it's been funny because I have seen, it was a dog act.
Yeah.
Then you've got some real old. I've had a few people message me like older heads. Oh, the game is ruined. The game is not ruined that the bump is dead. The bump hasn't been in effect for a while. And I agree, like, when there's two players going at it, the contest, yeah, it can be, fair play. He took this guy out on purpose.
Yeah.
This doesn't need to be in the game.
No.
This does not need to be in the game. The game is fine. We don't need it. And, so Simpkin's out for 2 weeks. What? Because someone's careless?
Yeah.
It'd be different if they were both put their head under
over
the
the
ball and there's a clash, there's a marking clash. What it did, though, spark, after we showed the Rashudo one, what the game really was like. So we've got a little video compilation of some of the biggest hits.
Oh, shit.
Play on.
That was horrible to watch. I remember watching it and just the way his arms are in the air.
Oh, he's
was
absolutely
out
smoked.
cold, and that was hard because he couldn't do much about it. He was already in the air. That was brutal.
This was like...
Oh, yeah, I remember. He pushed him.
May.
May just slammed him. Play on.
Yep.
See, that was a hard one because Gazza pushed him into
Sort of
it.
let him
He
into
let
it,
him
didn't
into
he? He's
it.
just like, yep, I could see May coming. Here's the setup. And I think there's one more out of here.
Oh, it's a big hit. But and that's not gone for the ball. He's left the ground too.
Perfect. He's just gone bang.
How many weeks did he get? Do you know?
I can't remember.
But the bump. Oh, what happened there? Wait, what?
That was the umpire gone. So you could see, with those first couple of hits.
That was the umpy's fault. He ran straight into it. What is he doing?
I mean, that Mitchell Lewis one was sickening.
That's the word I was looking for when I said it. Sickening is, when he's like, just his eyes are in the back of his head, arms are up in the air, head's not even looking like it's in an appropriate position. You don't want to see that.
No.
And for anyone's safety and well-being, and Clarko standing up and copping a 10K fine, good on him. I don't think good on him for copping 10K. I think that's ridiculous. And I think the AFL need to pull their head in and realise that we're not here and being a soft bunch of, I'm not going to say a soft. That was kind of the pun. Because
There's a beep. Is it that one?
I think so.
There's a beep. You can use it in effect.
All right, guys. But now that brings us to the first game. So we're doing this in parts. Sydney versus Melbourne. The first game of the season this Thursday. We are going to be just doing purely a review of preview.
And the reason we're doing that is we realised that on Wednesday only the Thursday night games are released for the teams. So how we'll structure it is on the Wednesday we'll preview the Thursday night game and go through sort of all that's happened in the week, sort of how we just explained with the Clarko thing. And then the next day, it will just be purely reviewing, the remaining 8 games. And we'll do that up until round 14 or 15 where it becomes True Friday. So,
and we have some fun other little segments we're going to chuck in there over time.
The show will improve every week.
Yeah, every week. We're slowly but surely, this is new. We're doing a lot of new tech stuff as well. So hopefully it displays really well and it's really easy. We're also going to put the chapters in this video too. So if you just want to cut to the game preview, you can do so as well. So let's jump in. Let's go through the teams first.
Yep. Sydney versus Melbourne in Sydney. This is huge. We just did the preview on Sydney. So Josh, I'll let you read out the site.
So in the back line, the back pockets, you've got Rampy and Melican. You've got Tom McCartan. Tom McCartan. Full back, half backs, you've got Blakey and Lloyd, and then Florent, centre half back.
Yep. You're giving me a look there.
I gave Johnny a look there because I said Florent was a centre half back and we didn't put him there yesterday. Anyway.
I think he was on the bench.
Then on the wings you have McInerney, Ed, Golden. That is a quality looking.
Gordon's a wingman. Yeah.
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
Then you've got Chad Warner through the guts. Half forwards, you've got Heaney and Amati. And then you've got centre half forward McDonald. Then in the pockets, you've got Papley and Haywood and McLean in the full forward. Following a great addition, Brodie Grundy. It is Grundy v Gawn in this one. You've got James Jordan actually in the ruck rover. Mm-hmm. That's surprising. Mm-hmm. And then you've got Rowbottom as rover. No wonder that's their replacement for Luke Parker at the moment.
Well, Parker and Mills not playing.
Yeah, it's big out. So on the interchange, you've got Campbell, Roberts, Cunningham, Wicks, and Fox. So, I mean, that's a pretty solid-looking team. The emergencies, you've got Sheldrick, Ladhams, and Warner. That's surprising. Warner hasn't even made the squad. He hasn't even made the 22. That's really
different Warner.
Oh, sorry, that's a different Warner. My bad.
Warner's in this.
Yeah, that's his brother. My bad. I can't believe I looked at that and went, is that the same Warner? Anyway, we're going to run through new faces. James Jordan coming from Melbourne.
Yep.
Brodie Grundy.
Coming from Melbourne. Versus Melbourne.
It's notable absentees, big ones. Mills, Parker, Adams. The captain's out. Parker, their leading contested bull, and Taylor Adams, who's an addition over from Collingwood. It's going to be a hard, I think next 4 to 6 weeks is really going to show where they're at. But big for them, big ins. Grundy, James Jordan, definitely going to make an influence and an impact straight away. Johnny, run through the...
Well, just on that, so, I mean, Sydney's backline, they've got a lot of rebounding talent in Rampy, Lloyd and Blakey. I mean, their starting midfield is strong enough. Warner, Rowbottom, Jordan, Gordon on the on the wing. He'll go into the guts at times as well, but his key is, with his ball skills. Their depth is what's concerning for me. Their forward line, this is what I was saying yesterday, McDonald, McLean, this is where can they create an identity without Buddy Franklin. Grundy coming into the side now, this is a massive challenge for Grundy because he campaigned for his money. He got it, and he hasn't touched it since. And now he's going up against the best ruckman in the last decade. And it's not close.
Can I say this though? What a time.
Oh, it's beautiful.
What a time.
What a story to see. But this is your time, Grundy, to show everyone what you are because you haven't touched the ball in 3 years. And at your best, Grundy was better. Gawn was better than you. So this is your time. You're the number one. This is your teammates need you to stand up because their best players are not on the park.
No, I think it's great. I'll tell you why. They're in Sydney. They've got a home court advantage. Mm-hmm. Or home field, home ground, home court. I'm going to call it a home court. It's a great time. He wouldn't have the bubble of Melbourne and the pressure and everything there. They're coming up to them. And I think he can take it to Gawn. I
have been getting messages. There is a lot of people wanting Grundy to do well. So I sound like I'm negative. But I've had so many people saying he's going to come back. He's the number one ruckman again. It's going to be good. He was played out of position at Melbourne. He stopped playing well at Collingwood. I don't know he got injured, but he hasn't done anything since. You've got a lot of support, mate.
Well, he's had a lot of time off, Johnny, so he should be prime time.
He should be prime time, but it's going to be a real test against the best ruckman of the last decade.
I think it's good. I think he's going to run. He's really going to get his legs straight in. He's going to have to really, really, really compete straight away. And I think he's got the talent. He's got his position that he's always wanted. And I think he's getting triple pay. So I think he's going to be pretty happy. He's at home, triple pay. He's prime. He's rested. He's good to go. It's time for Grundy to step up and be the man that he is and play some good footy.
He's got three ex-husbands paying him alimony.
What?
He's got divorced here, divorced there, and they're all paying him.
Oh, that's good.
Why he's with someone else.
All right. And then we'll jump into
Melbourne.
Team.
So Melbourne in the back line, you got May at fullback, Howes and Lever. In the back pockets, geez, that's a formidable fullback line. Tomlinson, loved to see he was hitting some form at the end of the year. Salem McVee on that halfback line. Salem is so important for them, especially in that premiership year. He doesn't have the pace of the Hooley or the Adam Sard, but he thinks the game through well, and he's just good by foot. In the centre, Petrarca, who I reckon could be the best player in the league. Langdon, at his best, is the best wingman. Rivers is a star. The centre half forward line, this is going to be interesting. Shaki at centre half forward. Viney's on the half forward line. He's going to go into the guts. Van Ruin, this is a time for him to stand up. He had a good serviceable year last year, kicking over 20 goals. Can he go to that next level? And then you got Fritsch, Bullen, and Spargo. Now, Spargo had... Nope, sorry, wrong person. I was thinking of Sparrow. So the holes are in there, that forward line. So that's going to be interesting. Now, their followers... Gone. Sparrow just came off having 30 touches against Carlton and kicking a couple, so he's in really good form. Oliver has been named for all that he is playing, and I'm very excited to see him. I want him to come back because his football's never been the problem. He's never been bad. Whatever's happening, his football has always done the talking. I want him to come up. He's going to have some good opposition. I want him to absolutely dominate tomorrow. And then you've got on the bench Winsdaw, Billings, Laurie, Bowie, and Chandler. Emergencies, McDonald, Fullerton, and Woden. Some new faces, Winsdaw, Billings from St Kilda, and House. Now, then we've got some notable absentees. Lockie Hunter, McAdams moved to Adelaide, Harrison Petty, Jake Melsham, and Kysaiah Pickett is suspended for, he got rubbed out in the Carlton game. So both teams have players out, but I think Sydney have bigger names out for me. It's amazing though. Well, when I checked Sportsbet, they were paying $1.90 each, and Sydney were favourite most of the week. I don't see that at all.
So I don't understand that. So I went through my tips this week, and it was weird because, like you said, the betting odds on two of the games that I betted on, like not betted, but actually put my
we don't bet.
We
don't bet here, guys.
I really don't bet. I'm not even joking when I say that. All my mates actually probably do. I do the tipping. This is the first season.
Sports for Dummies does not endorse sports bet.
Yeah. Anyway, for the first time, I'm actually doing the tips properly.
Yeah.
This is the first season. Next season, guys, we will do Supercoach. I promise. We will. Now, Melbourne for me. That's my tip. I think they're going up there as much as everyone's on the bandwagon of Sydney. I just don't see them they can equal that squad. Like you put side by side.
I just think Swans just have too much out. Their midfield depth is going to be the problem. I mean, they've still got a good side. But you take Parker. So Melbourne beat Sydney twice last year. They beat them by 4 goals at the end of the year in Sydney. They've won their last 3 against Sydney the last 3 games at the SCG. And they beat them at the start of the year at the MCG by 50 points. I truly believe these outs, it's going to be too much from them.
They really have a point to prove, Sydney. Sorry to cut you short. They really do, don't they? Like, if they've come to their home ground advantage and beaten them 3 times in a row.
And it's the season opener, so I can understand. And a lot of people, being in Sydney naturally will go for the home side. But Melbourne have an incredible record interstate and in Sydney as well, and I just think they're going to be too strong. The matchup I can't wait to see though is Grundy versus Gawn.
Oh, that
is going to be. When Grundy was at Collingwood, there was a 3-4 year period where they were clearly the best 2 ruckmen. And to go at it again, Grundy's fully fit now. There's a little bit that he played, he would have seen how Gawn trains and whatnot. They've both played with each other now. It's good to see them go head to head because that's what you want. Like in terms of a ruck,
it's Clash of the Titans.
And the big ruck duels are not really there anymore. So it's cool. This will be cool to see. I think Melbourne.
Bloody Darcy, the really good bloody Freo.
Sean
Darcy's out for a fair bit. So it's you look at that and you're
there's a few outs here.
So what I'm saying is it's really good to see, those 2 key ruckmans who play that very traditional. But it's good because Gawn can go up forward, kick his goals. Grundy runs a lot more with the ball. But Gawn can get the ball as well.
What do you think? So how much do you reckon Melbourne will win by?
I think it will be pretty close. I think they'll get up by just over 2 goals.
Okay. What do you think Sydney has to do to win here?
Well, they need to start off straight away. I think if they're on there, if Melbourne come up and Melbourne start off really well, they'll be in a bit of strife. I think if it all starts in the midfield, I think if Grundy can have a ripper first term, I think it'll put him in a good stead. I think Grundy's going to really lead that charge, and he's the sort of player that can. So I want to see Papley kick a goal or two in the first quarter.
He gets
the team going.
He gets that energy going.
Yep. Because I think they're going to miss it. Like, they don't have Franklin. They don't have they've lost a fair few players. They don't have their captain. He'll be on the bench though, so we'll be able to pep them up and coach from there.
This could get him to this. I reckon that's a good opportunity because I think Franklin actually made it too centric there, which they can be creative. I think what Sydney's key is their defence, and Melbourne don't have a great forward line. So if they can counter attack with the likes of Rampy, Blakey, Lloyd, Melbourne's issues last year that we have talked about is their accuracy in front of goal.
I was going to say Petrarca can hit the scoreboard.
But if they continue to miss, Sydney hit them on the rebound, spread the ball, because Sydney, apart from their key forwards, which the jury is out because they haven't played enough to prove. There's some Heaney, Papley, Hayward. If they can really dominate. Golden can really. The thing about
Lloyd's
Sydney,
one of the best rebound 50s in the game.
And I think Golden arguably is one of the best kicks in the game.
Yeah.
He's an absolute superstar. He can get creative with it. Sydney, they're not Franklin centric now. They can expose this Melbourne side.
Now, bringing in Shaki, that was a bit of a surprise for Melbourne.
This is the thing. This is where Melbourne don't have a great forward line either. So both these teams, their weakness is probably their forwards.
It's good though because they've got their 3 key there. I mean, Fritsch, Van Shaki.
And Melbourne don't have their small Pickett's not playing, Melcham's not playing.
Yeah.
So that spark in that forward line, Melbourne should be able to overpower them though. With the midfield depth, this is where Grundy, even if you're losing the ruck duel, be another midfielder because he can accumulate more of the ball than Gawn does. But if you try to play Gawn's going to beat you with the tap outs. He's going to play you around the ground. He's going to isolate you and take you up forward. Play like a midfielder. Play like a midfielder. Running.
I was going to say a big loss for them is Brayshaw.
Yes.
Looking at their midfield, I mean, obviously, like Jack Billings will go in. Viney's on the half forward flank,
but he'll be
interjecting
in. Him and Petrarca are going to be in and out.
Yeah, and I do think if Viney doesn't hit the scoreboard that much, but Petrarca can, so I think that'll be the good alternation. But looking at the squad, I just think I just have Melbourne. I just have them on edge. I don't have them look on paper. Like if we bring the teams right back up, just have a look at that. You actually would go on paper. Sydney look better. In my opinion, they do.
Nah, I'd go Melbourne here because look at the outs, Josh. You can't say on paper. Mills, Parker, and Adams. So you got 2 of their best players are not on the field. That's like saying...
But Melbourne don't have Pickett. Pickett's a gun player for them.
Yeah, but Pickett is not on the same
Lockie
caliber.
Hunter is a gun as well.
He is not on the same caliber. Mills and Parker are 2 of their best 3 players. It'd be like saying Petrarca and Oliver are out. That's the comparison.
No, that's a valid point, but I'm saying...
Pickett and Hunter compared to those 2, I'm not saying they're not good players, but it's a different tier.
Okay.
It's a different tier.
I'm not going to debate. I just personally, looking at Sydney's list, I really like James Jordan. I think he's a great player.
This speaks to Sydney's depth. Unfortunately, depth's good if one player goes down. You've got a few midfielders.
They've arguably got the best wingman in the league, Golden. Chad Warner.
Gordon's a superstar.
Center. The only thing that really lacks, like you said, Rowbottom. James Jordan, Rowbottom had a great season last year.
Petrarca, Oliver really should exploit this.
If they don't, then like you said, they're going to be in a bit of a pickle. Outside of that, I think that it's
Melbourne by 3 goals.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Melbourne by 3 goals.
What do you reckon Sydney need to do to try and combat that?
Sydney need to. Well, there's a few things. So and this is hard because Melbourne's a good contested ball seed. The SCG is a lot more. It's a lot smaller than the MCG.
Yeah.
So this is where Oliver cannot release as much. He can't release players as much as he could with his hands. However, it also does suit a contested side like Melbourne. So really, this is where I think they're going to be found out. Is this is going to be a grueling game.
Yep.
It's round one. It's gonna be high impact, lot of contests. This is where no Parker and Mills. I just think it's just too much to have.
It's going to be free flowing football. Sydney don't like to play the contested game. Melbourne sort of do. So I think that it'll be one of those games.
Well,
There'll be a lot
Sydney
of
are all right. They just don't have their two balls in there. I mean, Warner's an absolute star, but they've just got too many high quality out.
What was I going to say? There was something important on that one. Oh, I've had a mental blank. That really frustrated me. No, that annoys me.
That's
it was
fine.
a really
That's
good
fine.
one.
Well,
anyway, no, we're not gonna wrap it up.
What if
I'm going to interject. I've added in something that I didn't tell you about.
Ooh,
But
interesting surprise.
who is winning this year? Who's taking out the 2024?
Oh, we're going back
premiership?
to predictions. Yes. So
Yeah.
we're just doing this. So on the eve, we're allowed to review our predictions. So my tips so I think we're doing who's going to win it, Brownlow, Coleman?
Yeah, we're just going to do those three.
So I had Carlton, Walsh, Curnow. Now, Carlton was tongue-in-cheek because I'm a Carlton supporter. I generally think these are a lock, by the way, can't change. I think who's going to win the flag? Who's going to win the flag's Collingwood.
Okay.
Carlton have just been decimated before round one. I'm going to change my Brownlow tip to Petrarca, and Coleman medal. It's still going to be Charlie.
Yeah. So it was really funny. There was a comment by someone who was watching one of our videos. I think they watched the predictions. It might have been on TikTok. I don't know where it was. And Jody was saying how arrogant, I think one of Michael's or someone else, I think it might have been Harley's.
I was saying I thought Port were a little arrogant that they rested all the players for Carlton.
And then they said, coming from the person who says Carlton will win the premiership, Sam Walsh will win the Brownlow, and Charlie Curnow will win the Coleman.
Look, Sam Walsh I generally thought would, and Curnow I think still will. Carlton, you all saw my predictors.
Yeah, we all did.
I actually generally reckon Collingwood will win the flag.
I should have brought it up. Mine stays a lock. Collingwood to win. Dacos for the Brownlow.
Yeah.
It's a very stock standard.
Yeah,
sort of year.
Dacos, yeah.
And for me, Curnow.
And Charlie. We all had Charlie. So, yeah, but they're a lock. That's a lock. We're on the eve. You're allowed to change. We're not changing it. I mean, it's a fluid thing, so you can change it. You know, we'll probably do a halfway point. But that's what we're going to stick with.
That sums it up. Is there anything else we wanted to talk to about the viewers?
So what we're gonna
the viewers about.
So what we're gonna do now. So probably just what we're doing. So tomorrow, obviously, there's the game. We will definitely be watching that. We will be doing the preview for Friday, Saturday, Sunday when the teams are announced tomorrow. We really were going to be doing this as one show. However, with Thursday night football, which is awesome as a fan, but really not practical when you're trying to review every team at once. Because
the reason for that is just the sides aren't out. So we can't actually give you guys any feedback on who's in, who's out, actually talk about the teams in depth because we don't even know the list. Correct.
So, as I said, I sort of touched on, we're going to be doing it 2 parts till round 15 till it goes back to, you know, your traditional Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So for Thursday night games on a Wednesday, we will do a preview and talk about the drama and the events that do happen in a footy season. So that will happen, and then we'll review that game, and then on the Thursday we'll review the remaining 8 games, and it'll just be about that.
Awesome, guys. We are so excited. This was the first episode of our show, and we can't wait to see you in tomorrow's one. It's going to be bigger, better, and we have some funny things coming up. I think next week we're going to try and do a funny segment, which brings back some old days for those who are big, avid footy fans. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in part 2 tomorrow evening. Thanks for watching. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, and
ring the fucking bell.
See you guys. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.